Hey, what's up you guys? This is Perry the Entertainer here back again for another video, and as you can see on the screen there, I'm not on the screen. Well, it's because I decided, wow, I can't talk today. I decided not to put the spotlight on myself today and do a video that I've been wanting to do for a few days now, and this is the top 6 WWE slash WWF debuts. Now, the reason why it's 6 is because I wanted to put a debut on there, but I couldn't find an exact spot for it, and it's the number 5 on this list, and I decided, you know what, let's just push the number 5, which was original, to the number 6. So this is the top 6. If I get some good feedback, I'll do TNA debuts probably, and if I really get some good reviews on it, I'll do a WCW one, and we all know I wasn't really alive back then, but you know, I do my research, as you guys know, so let's get this started. Alright, so we start off the list at number 6, and number 6 on this list is Diamond Dallas Page, aka DDP. The reason why he's so low on the list is because the fans didn't take his debut seriously, and I was one of those fans, because after several weeks, The Undertaker's wife at the time, who was Sarah, I don't know if that was his exact wife, or if that was a, character just playing his wife. I think it was his real wife, but, she played along with the storyline, played along pretty well. But she was being stalked in their home. I think it was in like Texas or something like that. I don't remember I remember where their home was, and there was just this mystery stalker. He had this really low voice here, and it was tough at the time because the WWF at the time, I don't think has really ever seen something like that. So the fans really didn't react to it. People didn't talk about it saying, oh, I'm going to watch Raw this week to find out what the hell's going on with Sarah. And it's like, people didn't do that. But, and then the stalker decided to reveal himself on June 18th, 2001. He was nearly the biggest name, easily the biggest name to jump ship to WWE in the Invasion. Because if you listen to this debut, I will have a picture on the screen. I don't know exactly what picture yet, but if you listen to this debut, you will understand how big of an impact his debut made to the company. But after the debut and after his match with The Undertaker at King of the Ring 2001, everything just went down for him. He lost this creepy, weird gimmick. He got stuck with this smiling, it's me, it's DDP, and he was so misused. And, he was a megastar in WCW, but yet, if you bring someone to WWE, they just misuse him. And in fact, there's actually one more person on my list that was a megastar in WCW, and then when he was brought to WWE, he was misused and misplaced in so many ways. But anyway, number 6, DDP, and let's keep the list going. Alrighty, number 5 on the list is none other than the next big thing, Brock Lesnar. Now, obviously, he just made his return to WWE not too long ago, but let's talk about his debut at the time. So, there was this match with Maven, Al Snow, and Spike Dudley. It was a triple threat match. And I don't know exactly what, was going on here. I was watching debut, and I was just as confused as the fans were at the time. But out comes this big monster guy, this big dude, and he just comes out and just beats the living shit out of everyone, especially Spike Dudley. He got the worst end of the stick. He got triple power bombed, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know if it was a dark match or if it was during this segment, but he hit his first shooting star press. And if you guys remember WrestleMania 19, when he hit a shooting star press on Kurt Angle, but he botched it. If you want to see how his shooting star press really does look without the botch, I think it's during this segment, or I'll put a link or something in the description or something. But I don't think this was, by the way, in March 18th, 2002, and during this exact year, I believe, Brock Lesnar won his first WWE title against The Rock at SummerSlam of 2002, and it was a big deal back then because Brock Lesnar, a guy who no one's seen before, no one's really notice this guy, and then to find out who the real guy behind the scenes was, revealed was Paul Heyman, a guy who was just fired by Vince McMahon not too long ago too. It was easily known that Lesnar was going to be a future player in the company, but we didn't really take into account his stature, and we didn't really take into account his wrestling ability. But Lesnar obviously made a huge impact during his 2 years in the company, and yeah, so number 5 on the list, Brock Lesnar. Alrighty, number 4 on the list is that WCW legend that I was just talking about during the DDP segment, Goldberg. Yes, I believe all you guys remember Goldberg. Well, I would hope you guys would, because it was even rumored that he was going to appear at Slammiversary just this past weekend, but obviously those rumors were shot down. But let's talk about his WWE debut. It obviously was not as good as his WCW run, because he had that whole, what was it, like 15-month winning streak or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was the night after WrestleMania 19 where The Rock just beat Stone Cold Steve Austin the night before. The first time The Rock's beaten Stone Cold at WrestleMania, and The Rock was talking to the fans and everything. I think it was like how he was unbeatable and people wouldn't be able to beat him. And then all of a sudden you heard the infamous boom, 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 and the crowd was just nuts. They went nuts, and oh my god! If you guys get the chance to watch this debut, do it. I highly recommend it. Anyway, he gets in the ring. He says, in quotes, "So Rock, you wanna know who's next, eh? You're next." He drops the mic and then goes to spear Rock. Hits the biggest spear in WWE, and then they end up having a match at Backlash where Goldberg obliterately killed him. Well, I'm not going to say it obliterately because it was a good, 20-minute match. But that appeared to be The Rock's last match up to, a few months ago. But anyway, let's stop talking about Goldberg's, first feud and everything. Let's talk about his actual debut and how, it was an okay debut, but it was really anticlimactic, if you guys know what I'm talking about. I was excited to see Goldberg. He hit that spear, and then I remember jumping out of my seat. I mean, obviously I knew who he was because my dad used to watch WCW, and I would see him a few times, but I knew who he was. But I was just shocked that people would because I was a Rock fan at the time. I didn't care he was a heel, but anyway. Goldberg really had little to no success in, the WWE. He won his first World Heavyweight Championship at Unforgiven against Triple H, but then he would lose it 3 months later back to Triple H. So it was stupid, and then, his entire career ended with a very, very, very unsuccessful match with Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 20. It was just upsetting. I mean, this match was looked forward on by everyone, and then, blown to shits, so whatever. But, during Goldberg's, about year run, maybe? Not even a year. During that run, he got some accomplished, but his debut was really put him on the map in WWE, and, got him noticed in WWE. So, Goldberg is your number 4 on the list. And for this next WWF debut, actually, we need to go back in time, back to 1997. Bad Blood in Your House. You guys, a lot of my, history fans here would know exactly what I'm talking about. Yes, the main event of that show, The Undertaker taking on Shawn Michaels in the first ever Hell in a Cell match. One of the best matches in WWF history. Undertaker was just about to finish off Shawn Michaels and become the new number 1 contender for the WWF Championship and get a shot at Bret Hart at Survivor Series of 1997. Undertaker was just about to get it, and all of a sudden, the lights went out. Everyone's looking around. What's going on? What's going on? The eerie music plays. We see this explosion on the stage. Paul Bearer starts walking out, with this 7-foot, 320-pound monster. He rips the door off the cell. He goes in the ring with The Undertaker. He looks in The Undertaker's eyes. He raises his hands up. He throws him down. Fire comes out of the turnbuckles. Undertaker looks around at the turnbuckles. Kane picks him up for the tombstone. He hits it. The tombstone was hit. Shawn Michaels drapes his arm over the Undertaker. Cover. 1, 2, 3. Shawn Michaels gets a shot at Bret Hart at the 1997 Survivor Series, which we all remember was the Montreal Screwjob. But we all know that 7-foot, 320-pound monster today as Kane. Yes, Kane made his infamous WWE debut at the 1997 In Your House Bad Blood event. Just, people weren't used to this type of stuff, and, because the fire out of the stage was so, unique about Kane. When he threw his arms up and threw them back down, when the turnbuckles would light up, this crowd, if you listen to the debut, the crowd even went, whoa, because they weren't used to it, and it was so cool. It was so great seeing Kane, obviously I was only about a year old at the time, but, obviously, like I said to you guys, I do my research, and it was just an amazing debut, and the fact that this match had two storylines going on with The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, because at the pay-per-view before, we had The Undertaker versus Bret Hart for the WWF Championship. Shawn Michaels was the guest referee, and, we all know how that ended up happening. Bret Hart ended up getting the 1, 2, 3 on The Undertaker due to Shawn Michaels hitting him in the head with a chair, but just having two storylines with this match just made this match unique in its own way, and one of the big reasons why this debut was number 3 on the list. I loved Kane's debut. I could make an entire video on his debut, but I don't have that. I don't have all the time in the world here, guys. I got 2 more debuts to get through. So number 3, Kane, the Big Red Monster. And now let's turn our attention away from the eeriness of Kane's WWE debut, and let's focus on a quote-unquote invasion debut. You see, let me set the scene for you guys here. It was January 31st, 2000. We had just your own regular tag team title match on Raw. The New Age Outlaws, Mr. Ass, and the Road Dogg, who were the tag team champions at the time, took on Al Snow and Steve Blackman. Great match here. But right smack dab in the front row, we had 4 WCW former employees. And during this match, Road Dogg decides to go to the outside. He slaps one of them in the face. All 4 of them go after him. Al Snow and Blackman leave the ring. Everyone just gets a beat down. And who are they? None other than Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, Perry Saturn, and Dean Malenko, also known as the Radicals. Yes. My number 2 WWF debut on the list is the Radicals, the original quote-unquote Nexus. You see, let me set the scene really for this. WCW is really struggling in their mid-card division, and a lot of guys were upset with their paychecks. They weren't getting enough money and everything. They weren't getting enough on-air time. So WCW decided to say, okay, if you guys don't like it, here's the door. Don't let it hit you on the way out. All 4 of these guys walked out on WCW. But, little thing here, though. At the 2000 sold-out pay-per-view of WCW, Chris Benoit won the WCW World Heavyweight title from Sid Vicious, and then the next night they walked out. So obviously Benoit was stripped away with the title, and they ended up having a tournament or whatever. I don't even care about that anymore. But just this moment just really stood out in the whole quest for who was the better show, WCW or WWE, and this debut of these 4 amazing performers from WCW, it just showed that, employees would do anything. They would really do anything, and it was a huge debut. If you guys get the chance, seriously, I highly recommend you guys go check this debut out. It was a great debut. Obviously, we all know where Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero are. May their souls rest in peace. Dean Malenko is a WWE agent, I believe, and then Perry Saturn, doesn't. I don't think he works for WWE or WCW anymore. I think he works in a Japanese promotion. But just this debut, if you guys ever get the chance to check this debut out, I definitely recommend it. If you guys had that Nexus feel from 2 years ago or last year, whatever it was, 2 years ago, my bad, my beef. If you guys had that Nexus feel then, the only really difference was that they tore the ring apart. The Nexus tore the ring apart. These radicals just obliterated everyone in the ring. That's all they did. They really made their name known in WWE. So number 2 on this list is the Radicals. And before I announce the number 1 in my top 6 WWF/WWE debuts, I'm pretty sure you guys know exactly who this is, but I will still set the scene, but not exactly as much as I did with the Kane debut and with the Radicals debut. It was August of 1999. The Rock is cutting a promo in Chicago, Illinois, about facing the Big Show and sending him to the SmackDown Hotel. But however, the lights start flickering, and we get this countdown on the screen. We don't know who this is. We don't know who the hell this is. Well, the crowd knew who it was, but we at home didn't know who it was. Turned out none other than Chris Jericho. Yes, he is the number 1 on the top 6 WWF/WWE debuts, and it was a shock that WCW let him go, because Chris Jericho was one of those guys in WCW that he could be used properly, but they weren't using him. Everything he did was amazing, but he found himself on the lower card. He was, he slowly became a mid-carder, then a first match person. It was like, there's no point, but whatever. But he interrupted The Rock, and it was just, a great debut. If, just to put it in unison, I guess you guys could say, if you guys remember Jericho's return in, 2007? If you guys remember that, when he interrupted Randy Orton the exact same way, it sounded exactly like that. But since the WWE/WWF, I'm not going to say their universe, because they weren't the universe back then. They were just WWF fans. They weren't used to it. They weren't used to seeing the Millennium Clock and everything. And it was just really, it was a really cool debut. It got a great reaction out of the crowd. It was a great back and forth between The Rock and Jericho on the mic. And in one night, Jericho went from being the low mid-carder in WCW to being the main eventer that he was in WWF/WWE. Chris Jericho is, in my opinion, the greatest WWE debut in history, and yeah. So number 1 on the list, Chris Jericho. And that'll do it for the top 6 WWF/WWE debuts. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to click the subscribe button. Yes, I'm doing the pointing anyway, even though you can't see my pointing. But make sure you hit the subscribe button for some more top videos. Go ahead and hit that like button down there, please, and favorite if you want to. Leave a comment. Give me your top 5/top 6, whatever, WWE debuts, and, we'll start a discussion, I guess you guys could say. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at @OfficialPTEShow. I'm not going to I can't do the motion because there's no, point in doing it because I'm not recording myself. But, I hope you guys enjoyed the video again, like I said. In case you want me to recap it, number 6, DDP. Number 5, Brock Lesnar. Number 4, Goldberg. Number 3, Kane. Number 2, The Radicals. And number 1, the Millennium Man, Chris Jericho. Again, like I said, leave me your top 6/top 5 WWF/WWE debuts. Give me any that stood out in your mind, and leave me some video ideas, because I hate doing videos, that I want to choose. I want to know what you guys exactly want to hear out of me. So yeah, that's about it today, guys. Perry the Entertainer signing off, and peace out. I'm not gonna do the clicking because you can't see me do it, but peace out, guys. See you guys later in the next video.